As some of you may know, Guy and I released the Guy and Jamie podcast Instagram account yesterday. And for two people who have not had a social media presence in the last couple of years, it's quite a big deal for us actually to be suddenly back out into the world in that form. So we wanted to have a little bit of chat about how we're feeling about everything, how we're feeling about the podcast. So I'm going to start this off, Guy, by just asking you first off, how are you doing?
I'm alright, mate. Like we've got on the podcast, I'm feeling amazing in terms of it. I feel like these are going really well, and we've got really good feedback from it. But like as soon as we posted on the Instagram, it was just like I suddenly just got really nervous about it, just because seeing all these people who I haven't seen in 3 years, over 3 years, suddenly now like watching these uncut things that we're doing and talking about. It does make me apprehensive, but it's all part of it, isn't it? Whereas before we were sort of it felt like we were just filming for me and you, because we knew we weren't releasing them yet. So it was like we'd come in, it would just be a completely normal conversation. And now it's sort of just like that little bit of you watching yourself and analysing what you're saying, going, don't say something stupid. Like you now know these people are going to be watching. That's sort of where I'm at, but it's all part of it, isn't it?
100%. I think for me, I've definitely been pretty anxious actually since we started the Instagram account. I haven't been sleeping very well the last 2 nights because my mind's been very active. There's two aspects to it. So one, we put so much work into these podcasts and we really, really want with all our hearts for them to do well. And it is nerve-wracking putting content out there on a plate for everyone that you've worked so hard on and you're not sure how it's going to be received. So there's one aspect on that, and it's also exciting. So it's half anxiety around how it's going to be received, but also excitement that you're finally putting out this hard work that you put in.
Of course, yeah.
So it's a lot. It's quite overwhelming. And then, as you say, the other aspect is seeing all these names pop up that we haven't seen these people for years. And anyone who's been close to me over the last couple of years will know that, especially in the last year and a half or so, I underwent quite a fundamental shift internally about a year and a half ago. That has led me to change for the better in my eyes and become more comfortable with myself and finally feel at peace. And I know a similar sort of shift happened in you as well over the last year or so, and it's led both of us to mature out of those times when we might have been these 19, 18, 17, whatever age it might have been year old idiots. And that these people that we used to know us as potentially, some people may have judgments and perceptions from that time, and it's scary to put yourself out there now knowing that these people haven't been a part of our lives over the last few years when these changes have occurred. Do you sort of know what I mean with that?
Of course, mate, and this is what I mean. I was looking through these people following and going, I sort of know your perception of me, and it's not that great because, like you said, I did used to be an idiot. Like me and you especially, like we used to be quite immature. Like we still are a bit, but we've matured like more as people. But yeah, mate, no, I can completely agree with that. Like, yeah, it's just seeing these names and worrying about what they think of you. Like, am I gonna be funny enough? I even thought, like, are they gonna like you more than me? And of course, but it's all your own insecurities, isn't it? And it's how you approach it. And if you're feeling nervous in this sort of thing when you're doing these podcasts, you're going to come across as nervous and you're going to become that person. So it's about dealing with those nerves and just getting through it, mate. Just get through it. Like, yeah, we're pretty good at this stuff. So I always go to like a few schemas in my head. I can run, I can talk. Yeah, that's it.
Definitely, for sure. When there's a two-person project, I think it's natural to start wondering whether the other person is going to be better received than yourself. And yeah, because you and I made the decision actually in the last couple of years to not have social media, not have a social media online presence. So it is quite overwhelming going from absolutely nothing to suddenly being back in that world. And it does just bring me quite a bit of anxiety, and I'm waiting for the dust to settle. And I think after a few days, few weeks, when we get used to it, it's going to be absolutely fine. And there's also
it is also really exciting to do, have all these people and have such a good response from it. I've had so many people messaging me saying just the clips you've posted look really good and we're really looking forward to the podcast. It is encouraging as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there is an aspect to it which is just really exciting, and it's so nice to see these names of people pop up. And because I feel like I've changed so much in the last few years, when I see these names, I'm very cautious not to put my previous judgments and perceptions of our shared past together on these people and see them as a new person. So I'm looking forward to seeing what may come of this and who might get back in contact with us. Maybe become like-minded individuals over these years of maturation from 19 to 21 or whatever the age is.
Exactly, yeah, and it's also about I'm worried to say something out of line, say something that a fair few people don't agree with, and I don't really know much, mate. I'm not that intelligent, but I do have like views, and a lot of them are definitely going to be wrong, and it's the worry that people are going to take them the wrong way, and I'd like to say to people, just don't take it that seriously. Like if we're expressing an opinion on something and it varies from your own, then allow it.
It's more just I think for people who aren't doing this podcast thing and haven't considered what it feels like to do it, there's a lack of understanding and how difficult it is to actually communicate cohesively.
You want to impress everyone, don't you? You want to impress as many people as possible. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, and you can't please everyone, unfortunately. But it's just, at the end of the day, there is a lot of darkness in this world, and there's a lot of things that make me anxious and unhappy if I give them too much thought. And really what this project is just, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun with my mate and put a smile on as many people's faces as we can through doing that. So as you say, we may not know too much, but hopefully some people enjoy listening to us, enjoy the personalities, and can get something out of it, whether that just be feeling a little bit happy, a little bit more confidence, or maybe even inspired to create something similar, not a podcast, but whatever your creative outlet may be. If we can serve that purpose, that would be wonderful.